the newly acquired services that we took over had PCS already on as a system. So we kept, while they were still in the licensing, we were using PCS to see which one was a better platform. I found PCS quite convoluted, quite repetitive, and a lot less user-friendly. We then moved the new homes onto Log My Care. I found Log My Care the easiest to use out of all of the ones that we've had so far.
In the care home, the main challenge is how much paperwork was needed to be written. So obviously, enablement care is more elderly residential, so you have a lot more information that's needed to be input, so fluid outflow and everything like that. Where Log My Care, you click, 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 and it's done. Where these guys were writing, I know that on an afternoon they'd start writing their logs at like 4 o'clock and they wouldn't finish till 6. And being digital, I can work remotely, the manager can work remotely, and we know what's going off. We have a lady at the minute who's unwell, and I can see from home at night time when I'm thinking, oh, is she okay tonight? I can log in and have a look. Where I ain't got to come in and scroll through 24 hours worth of handwritten notes.
It's easier to extract reports and to read data. It's easier to record data.
So I would say out of a 12 hour, they've definitely saved themselves 4.5 hours a day, which is amazing because that 4.5 hours goes back into activities for these residents here, goes back into that one-to-one time.
A recent example is a social worker asked me for 3 years worth of data for a family that were doing a backdated continuing healthcare claim, pulling off 3 years worth of data relating to care records from an online source versus going through 3 years worth of archive boxes to pull out that data. That would have taken me probably somewhere in the region of about 3 or 4 days. It took me 3 or 4 hours. Well, everything's electronically stored and you can search for it in time order, and it's already kind of archived in its time and person relevance. So we don't have to go into a hidden dungeon somewhere in the building and rifle through a lot of boxes, rifling through a lot of paper to try and find the relevant archive. We've had CQC inspections, we've had obviously coroner reports where we've had to send information, we've had safeguarding bits where we've had to send information. We've always been able to extract what they want and extract what they need and send it across. You can download it to PDF, so it's easy to then save into a file and send a file as opposed to having to try and store.
And the staff have got on board really quickly. So sometimes when I'm writing, what I say and what I write don't make sense. So I use the read aloud button or the microphone button a lot to do my logs because I can do whatever I want in the same time whilst I'm talking to it. So, and it helps because I know it's written correctly and I don't have to go back and go, oh gosh, I spelled that wrong again. Because you can tailor it. I like the fact that we can call our resident service users clients. We've got that option to call them all different titles. The biggest one for me for enablement care is the body map, because they're elderly, body maps get used more often. Paper ones are like, okay, and it was time consuming, and there are elements where people would miss a body map where, working from home, you can go, right, there's been a fall, so if you don't see the body map within 20 minutes, you can ping them and go, where's the body map? Go and put the body map on.
I can get an overall screenshot of what the care's like, what's being missed, what's not being missed, what's being logged. I'd recommend you, and I have recommended you, even to the social care services, because they do tend to champion person-centred software. And obviously, because I've used both, because I prefer Log My Care over PCS, I do champion that through, because it's so much more user-friendly and so much more accessible for people with a neurodiverse diagnosis.
Go and jump on board and do it.